Imagine a man who had everything: power, wealth, respect, an invincible general, feared by entire armies. But there was one thing all his power couldn't buy, one thing his money couldn't cure, one thing his victories couldn't erase. His name was Naaman, and this is the story of how the most powerful man in Syria had to become the most humble to receive the impossible. Naaman was the commander of the Syrian army. When he entered a city, kings bowed. When he raised his sword, battles were won. He had palaces, servants, gold, everything a man could desire. But beneath his shining armor, under his luxurious robes, his skin hid a devastating secret: leprosy, a disease with no cure, a sentence to a slow, painful death. The very skin that soldiers admired was rotting away. The body that conquered nations was being destroyed from the inside out. And the worst part, Naaman knew that soon everyone would find out. He would lose everything: his position, his honor, his life. But sometimes hope comes from the most unlikely places. A young Israelite servant girl, captured in war, worked in Naaman's house. She had lost everything: her family, her home, her freedom, but she hadn't lost her faith. And one day, she said something that would change everything. "If only my master would see the prophet who is in Samaria, ... he would cure him." Picture the scene: the mighty general Naaman, preparing a caravan worthy of kings. Golden chariots, servants, 750 pounds of silver, 150 pounds of gold, 10 sets of fine clothes. He was going to show this prophet who he was. When he arrived at Elisha's humble house, Naaman expected red carpets, reverence, a grand ceremony. But the prophet didn't even come out of his house. Elisha sent a messenger with a simple message: "Go and wash yourself 7 times in the Jordan River. Your skin will be restored." Naaman exploded with rage. "I am the commander of the Syrian army, and he doesn't even have the decency to come out and see me. He tells me to bathe in a dirty river. The rivers of my land are far better than any river in Israel." Naaman's pride was killing him faster than his leprosy. He was willing to pay fortunes, travel miles, do anything, except the one thing he needed to do: obey with humility. But his servants, those who truly knew him, approached and said something profound. "Sir, if the prophet had asked you to do something difficult, wouldn't you have done it? So why not do this simple thing?" Naaman stepped down from his luxurious chariot. He took off his general's garments, and there, before his servants, with his pride wounded and his dignity shaken, he walked toward the muddy waters of the Jordan. First dip, nothing happened. The leprosy was still there. Second dip, the skin was still stained. Third dip, no change. Imagine what was going through his mind. "This is ridiculous. I'm a fool. I'm humiliating myself for nothing." Fourth dip, ... Fifth ... Sixth. With each dive, Naaman wasn't just washing his body. He was washing away his pride, his self-sufficiency, his arrogance. He was learning that healing doesn't come from our power, but from our obedience. And then ... The 7th dive. When Naaman emerged from that water for the 7th time, he was no longer the same man. And not just on the inside. His skin was like the skin of a child, completely restored, without a mark, without a blemish, as if the leprosy had never existed. But the most incredible transformation wasn't in his skin. It was in his heart. Naaman ran back to Elisha, but now, not as a proud general, but as a humble, grateful man. "Now I know," he said, "that there is no God in all the earth, except in Israel." The man who had everything discovered he had nothing, and the man who humbled himself received everything. Naaman offered treasures to Elisha, but the prophet refused, because that miracle wasn't for sale. It wasn't about money. It was about faith. It was about humility. You know what the deepest truth of this story is? We are all Naaman. We all have our leprosies, those problems we carry hidden, those pains money can't cure, those voids success can't fill. And often, God asks us for something simple, something that hurts our pride, something that doesn't make sense to our logic. Forgive that person, let go of that addiction, trust when you can't see the way, obey when you don't understand. And we stand there, at the edge of our Jordan River, thinking, "This is too humiliating, this is too simple. I expected something grander." But healing is in obedience. Transformation is in humility. The miracle is on the other side of our pride. Naaman dove 7 times. How many times do you need to dive? What is your Jordan River? What is that step of obedience God is asking you to take, but your pride is preventing you? If this story touched your heart, I invite you to leave a comment or just say a prayer right now. Tell God, I'm ready to dive. I choose humility. I choose to obey. And if you want more biblical stories that can transform your life, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Share this video with someone who needs to hear that their miracle is on the other side of humility. God bless you. And remember, your miracle might be waiting in a simple place you never imagined.